Hello all, bloom-n-cheeza here. Hope you guys hope you guys do comment, and please do slap that subscribe button. Does help. Anyway, you guys are in for a little bit of a treat today. This is Marvel Mondays. This is the 8th installment, which would mean Wandavision episode 8. This itself is my favorite episode of Wandavision altogether, and I would say it made the top 3 list for Wandavision as a whole as my favorite Marvel scenario. It toppled everything over. It just made everything interesting, in my opinion. It explains a lot. It's a recap episode of Scarlet Witch, how it happened, everything all slapped into one. I love it. Here we go. All I can say is, wow, what a recap. This episode that I so dearly loved had an article I referenced from, which I will post a link below. Wandavision episode 8 hung in the balance of Agnes. So let's dive into the episode where Agnes controls Wanda. Episode 8 made me reevaluate everything about Wandavision in a really good way. Notes I thought were correct seemed to be way off or right on point. I loved how this episode, along with the traumas in Wanda's life, step by step, and we're finally get our due justice of learning Agnes. Strategically placed and used at Wandavision's perfect moment. Let's look. We open in Salem, Massachusetts, 1693. Location period combo that you may recall from the high school production of The Cubicle, or basically known as Salem Witch Projects, and the one that has long been inauspicious for fictional witches. We see the whimpering and pleading Agatha. We can dispense of the word of Agnes nonsense now. Being led into the wooden platform by a group of hooded figures, but rather than being townsfolk attempting to entice female sorceress, her captors are themselves witches and bind her to a stake with handcuffs, spiritual handcuffs. In the end, Agatha is too powerful, having this yellow light thing. Agatha overpowers everyone, and then her mother, and kills her too. She climbs off the platform, takes Mom's brooch, and flies away. Kathleen Hahn completely nails every second of this scene. It should be said. There she is. Back in the present, in the basement of modern Agatha's abode, Wanda tries to mind-whammy Agatha, but later says her thoughts are not available to her heroine. Wanda asks where her kids are, in Slovakian brogue, and Ethica replies, that accent really comes and goes, doesn't it? Wanda again tries to do magic, and Agatha said is no good in the basement because there is a protection spells in the form of runes on the upper walls that make it so only the witch that put them there can use them. Ethica's sensation is met with Wanda's confusion, presumably over the notion that she's a witch, opposed to the identity stone-powered superhero. Agatha is then told a dear little secret, saying so close with fake Vitro, if you will, but no dice. Then Agatha continues. A crystalline possession became real Pietro's body in a bullet-riddled mess in another continent, making it necromancy impossible. So, that said, the last episode ended with Pietro confronting the other heroine, which was Miss Marvel. And thinking back on it, I do remember him showing a glimpse of purple eyes before saying something about us snooping around. That was a gut-wrenching moment because we know Miss Marvel might be in way of her head. She just got some new powers. She doesn't know how to control them, doesn't know how to use them, and now has to confront a Salem witch by the name of Agatha. Nail-biting as its best. Back in the story, Agatha says she sensed this place where a lot of spells were cast at once but couldn't understand what happened. To demonstrate what Wanda pulled off, Agatha grabs a bug from the pillar and chants in magic Latin, doing mind control and making a bug fly onto Wanda's face, saying thousands of people under your thumb, all interacting with each other according to complex storylines. Well, that's something special, baby. Agatha then demonstrates Wanda's transmutation of Westview by turning the bug into a dove. Wanda, she says, has pulled off an astonishing feat on the town, and it runs like clockwork. Magic on autopilot, Agatha croons. What's your secret, sister? Wanda pleads that she didn't do anything, but then gets tossed into a wall, not once but twice. Agatha grabs hair from Wanda's head, pulls it out, and makes it glow purple, and then tosses it at a ancient-looking door. That itself was part of Wanda's memories, her DNA inscribed in it, which then turns into a more standard, nondescript door. It's time to look at some real returns, Agatha says, then points out she has to do what she tells her to do if she wants to see her kids, her boys, again. Let the recap of Wanda commence. I love all the old recaps showing how Wanda got her power, but time, I would say, is limited. Let's jump towards the end. At the end of the recap, it all ends after everyone disappeared. Wanda walks straight into S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters after everything has happened with Thanos. And then seeing Vision dead and lifeless, she walks out of the room and marches back into her surprisingly sensible and reliable car in this parking lot. She starts the engine, and an empty envelope on the passenger seat is there. It was there before. She drives to New Jersey, gets to Westview, and then rolls around the downtown area, seeing various characters who we recognize from all the sitcom variations from before. She set to the plot of land and pulls up into the driveway. She walks to what looks to be an area where a house was being built, but then which had been abandoned with cinder blocks at the base. She's holding the contents of the envelope, a sheet of paper that she unfolds and reveals its nature. It's a photocopy of the deed for her house at Vision's suburban dream home. It bears a little red heart in the middle with the text, "To grow old in, V." She looks again at the plot and starts weeping. And then she screams. This is when the episode caught my attention yet again. She's exploding with magic, which builds the house, then expands outwards towards Westview, changing everything into the black and white 1950s style of the first episode. She's inside this newly constructed magic house, and her power turns yellow, like it did in the Hydra cell, and like the purple of Agnes happened when she fought her mom at the stake in the witch trials. This yellow light formed Vision in a highlighted form, and then he became alive. He's dressed up in 1950s garb. "Wanda," he says, "welcome home. Should we stay in tonight?" That's the beginning of the first episode. They sit on the couch and kiss. Behind them is present Wanda in color. She looks up and sees that she's on a sound stage. Everything in the color is in color now. And she looks up and sees that she's on the soundstage. In mid-credits scene, we see Howard at the Sword operating base outside of Westview, glazing into the hex in the distance. Underling says the team is ready to launch. Hayward says he's about time to walk into another room. He said he and the underlings look at something that we can't see, while he says they took it apart and put it back together, trying different power sources until they found energy directly from the source. We see that it's a drone that's glowing with Wanda power red light. Viewer may be excused for thinking, okay, who gives a crap? And then we plan to the left and see the prize. An all-white replica of Vision in some kind of glass box. This Vision opens his eyes and silently looks at his hand. Cut to black. Roll the rest of the credits. That's being the end. For being episode 8 of 10, this recap and showing how the heck the town of Westview happened is perfect. This episode with intertwined scenes from Wandavision as a whole became my favorite top 3 Marvel plots in the Marvel movies for the TV series. Counting all the Avengers movies. I said that before. I say it again. This is pretty big, really. The future looks bright for Marvel for all forward. I can't wait. Hope you guys did like, subscribe, comment, subscribe. Sometimes I mess that up. Brain. Anyway. Have a great day, y'all. Bloom-n-cheeza out of here.